and welcome to the Country Music Social Media Sessions. I'm very excited to have the wonderful Tom Cary and to actually finally meet you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, living the dream.
Living the dream, living the dream.
Of course. Now, I've been obviously doing some of your Instagram and I've been looking at some pictures that you sent me. And I see you've got a bit of a sort of a gig background from doing a bit of swing.
Yeah.
Bit of a swing singer, because that's what my husband does as well. He's a swing singer. And did I see a photo of you on stage with Michael Bublé?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Oh, that was crazy. It still like sends up the hairs on my arm.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, basically went to see him live at the NEC in last year, 2 years ago.
Wow.
1 year's obviously just been dissolved.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago at the NEC, and so it was a present to me from my best friend Ian, tickets, and so he got VIP tickets, which basically meant you got to basically get like a packet of stuff. Like one was like a signed poster, stuff like this, and a bit of an experience beforehand. You didn't get to meet him or anything, but you got to kind of meet his team behind the scenes, which is quite cool. Well, really cool. And pretty cool. And so in the packet so we had a couple of wines, like naturally.
Awesome.
And I knew that he pulled up some people from the audience sometimes in the past. Well, I'd known of one or two that he had pulled up from the audience. And so I knew my chances were about 1 in a million.
Yes.
But after a couple of wines, that 1 in a million all of a sudden seems very manageable.
Always does, yeah.
Always does. So I got in the thing was a signed poster about that big, really, about 1 foot by 1 foot, and the back of it was white. And so we borrowed a Sharpie off of someone who was doing a thing on a clipboard, and said, "Right, Sharpie, can I sing with you, please?" Something along those lines. I'd love to sing with those. Well, yeah, I'd love to sing with you. And it was only when we got in, Ian didn't tell us beforehand that we were like 3 rows back from the front.
Wow.
So, but off to the side, way off to the side. So we were kind of like on the corner of the stage.
Yeah.
And it was only when we got in, we saw the barrage of people at the front with exactly the same idea. And everyone was holding up things saying, "Can I sing with you?" So I was like, well, there goes that idea. And so, basically, Lauren decided to hold up the sign and just keep it held up. Did not. I said, "Oh, you can put it down now. He's not going to pick me." And she said, No, I'm staying here with the sign, and I'm getting in front of everyone, and I'm going to put it right up into his face. And then he came out and he sang, "I Just Haven't Met You Yet."
Oh, yeah.
And he sang it. He came over to our corner of the stage, sang it, and looked like me straight in the eye and winked like that. And I was like, "Did I just see that?"
Yeah.
And Ian, who was next to me, was like, Tom, I think you're going to go up. I think he's hinting that you're going to go up. And I was like, "What?" Anyway, so then he sat on the edge of the stage. I remember it very well. Sat right on the edge, on the front and middle, and he said, "One part of my job that he said I love is the power that I've got to be able to give someone else an experience, to bring them up on stage, where otherwise they wouldn't be able to." And he said, and then he said, "Someone like you," and then looked straight at me, and I was like, "Oh my God."
But looking around.
yeah, I was literally like, "What?" And everyone around me just started screaming. And then Lauren started screaming, "Go, Tom, go, Tom, go, Tom." And then, so it was like a ripple effect. Everyone started screaming, "Go, Tom, go, Tom, go, Tom," until I would almost say half of the NEC was yelling, "Go, Tom." And I was just like, this is bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And so his security guard came through and kind of ushered me to the front and then cleared the way for me to go up. And then he asked me what song I'd like to sing. And I know every single one of his songs all the way through. And I couldn't think of any of his songs. I was just like,
right, completely blank, starstruck.
And then he made a joke. He was like, "Well, any idea?" And I was like, "Well, Me and Mrs. Jones." So so I just sang Me and Mrs. Jones with him. And
wow.
in the video, it's quite funny because at one point he takes the mic off as though to like give it to the audience to kind of sing along, and I'm just there like holding onto the mic, going,
Mine.
This is my opportunity. I'm not.
This is my big moment. I'm not letting anyone take that from me. Oh, that's just incredible. You must have been absolutely like starstruck as well, because he's incredible, and he seems really lovely as well. He seems like a really nice guy.
Such a lovely guy. Yeah, he really was such a lovely guy. Even in that short little time I got to meet him, you could just tell he was warm.
Yeah,
he was a warm man. I mean, could have been that he was sweating quite a lot as well.
That probably would, yeah. But I've seen him in interviews and things like that, and like, he just comes across. He's funny as well, isn't he? He's got a real dry sense of humour.
Yeah, he's very quick. He's very
witty,
quick.
Yeah.
Very,
this is amazing. Quick. I'm just very envious as well. He's a very handsome man. Like Michael Bublé, doesn't everybody? But a bit of a transition then from a swing to country. I mean, obviously you keep them separate because we do the same. I mean, I do multi-genre covers for gigs, and then my country is completely separate. So was it something you'd always run alongside each other, or was country something you sort of went into later on?
Country music has actually been. I started with country when I was, well, since I can remember really.
Oh wow! Okay.
The gig I went into was Bonnie Raitt, and I saw her live. I want to say the Colston Hall. I think that's Bristol, Colston Hall, or Bath. Yeah, Colston Hall, and oh god, she was just incredible. I remember this flowing ginger hair and this beautiful electric guitar, and just this presence of a person on stage. And I must have been like 8 or 9 or something stupidly young to be in a gig like that.
Yeah.
And my dad used to just take me to all the gigs that he grew up listening to the music. So people like forget who his name is now, Raymond Froggatt, which is, I don't know whether you way back, BB King, people like that. I love BB. Oh, amazing.
Oh, what voice?
Oh, and that guitar style is just And so he just dragged me to all these concerts, and so it's always, country music's always been the constant. And I basically found that I could sing. So I was actually funny looking up at the photo of me and Michael Bublé up there.
Hi, Michael. Still here, still available for bookings.
And so I did that to actually pay the bills initially, and doing the Bublé stuff, going out as a tribute to Michael Bublé. I always said a tribute because I never wanted to be like a copycat. I never wanted to be. So I was always just singing Michael Bublé's songs my way. And I think people prefer that in a weird kind of way. I think the majority of people prefer that rather than you trying to act and swagger like them, because it's just not natural a lot of the time. But so I did that to basically pay the bills. And then I thought, you know what? I came around to about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I was recording a swing album, and I thought, right, let's go for it. Let's be the next kind of UK Bublé, and really go for it. And then I recorded like 12 tracks of the album, which obviously a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort over many, many months. And I remember sitting there one night, and I showed it to my girlfriend, and she was like, "Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good." And I looked at the look on her face, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and she was like, "No, it's perfect. Like, you could put that next to Bublé, and you'd be fine. You'd be great." But and I was like, "I'm going to stop you there." I said, "I don't like it. This is me." I said this to her. I said, "I don't like it." I said, "It's not me. It's not who I am. I'm trying to go down a genre that just isn't me." And yes, it'd probably be easier to make it in a kind of swing UK scene. It'd be quite easy in a weird kind of way, because there's not many people doing it.
There's not really, no.
Not really. And at the moment, it's quite a cool genre as well. And I like wearing suits, so that always goes somewhere. Put on me on a Dickies bow tie or whatever.
Yeah, very suave.
And so I was like, no, not going to do it. So I literally just, from that moment, never listened to those songs again. I've just got them saved somewhere. and then just went, right, I'm just going to write my whole album pretty much myself, and get help from outside people if need be, which I did. Just to basically, the producer wanted me to collaborate with a couple of different people to try and get different sounds and just vary it a little bit more. And that's what I did. So yeah, tried to play as many instruments as I could on the album. And yeah, everything I think except for drums. Actually, some of the drums I did because I did them on the back of the guitar.
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
which is quite cool. Which you'll know is quite a cool sound.
It is a cool sound. We use a cajon with that sometimes because it's just because Grant plays cajon as well. And of course, you get a nice sound. You got one there. You sat on one. Or...
No, I got one here. I bought one the other day, actually.
Oh yeah, they're quite good. Yeah, they're quite good for things like that. But yeah, the back of the guitar can sound great. So I'm playing one of your songs at the moment on my radio show, actually, and you've collaborated with Taney, haven't you? Taney Lord from Taney Lord and the Crooks. Kiss Goodnight. And how did that come about?
Yeah, so that was that was an awesome experience. Taney Lord and the Crooks are just awesome. They're just I was actually recording part of my album, the early parts of my album, when I was actually I was in Studio B or Studio A, I can't remember which they're called, and Taney Lord and the Crooks were in the other studio, basically.
Okay.
And so I walked through their studio to get teas and coffees. And so as I did so, I kind of introduced myself, said, "Hey, how's it going?" Blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her and I thought, God, you've got a unique look about you, like with this long kind of, and it probably brought me back to the Bonnie Raitt days.
Yes.
And yeah, so I said to Gareth, I said, who's that next door? And he said, that's Taney Lord, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I did the whole album and finished the album, 11 or 12 tracks. Can't remember how many made the album in the end. 12 tracks. And then, that's what I think about.
Yeah, it was 12,
Yeah, and then I did, and then I Gareth said, I've got this idea for a song. Let me know what you think. So he gave me the chord sequence and a little bit of a kind of melody idea. And I was like, I really like how just no words or anything, just kind of vowel sounds he was making. Yeah. And I was like, that sounds really like it's got some kick to it. And so I went back that night. Lauren wrote the lyrics with me, and I finalized the chord sequence and the melody. And then the next day we went in and recorded some basic bits, and that's when he was like, why don't we get Taney Lord in? And I was like, fantastic, amazing. So she came down from Bristol for a session, and in one day we got the vocals done, me and her, and it was fantastic. I remember listening to her singing it, and I thought this sounds pretty cool. Her voice is just cool. It's got a twang. It's got a very country twang to it, which
she has for someone so young as well, and also she's got a great band behind her, isn't she?
The band's fantastic. Yeah, so tight. The guitar. Yeah. I was listening to the guitarist with his finger style, and I was like, "That's tight. That's really, really good." So
it's brilliant.
Yeah, she landed on her feet with the band. And the band's fantastic.
Well, it's a great song, and I've been playing it. I'll be playing it again this week as well. So, would you like to do a song for us and introduce it?
I would love to. Yeah, go for it. So I'll just switch on the amp because otherwise he's always dead. Cool. Always nice when it's in tune. This one is called Smile. It's the title track from the album called Smile. And I'll just
when are you ready?
I can't remember the last time that I saw that glint in your eye. It feels like we waited a lifetime, but it's the first thing and the last thing on my mind. Only when you smile does the world make sense. Only when you smile I have no defense. see your light, and it shines so bright, and it shines so bright. Only when you smile do we break these walls. You turn me back around, and again I fall. Only when you smile is my world alright. That's why I spend my life, that's why I spend my life trying to make you smile. We both hold the power to live our lives without a care. I know that you still remember. We just need to find a way back there. Only when you smile does the world make sense. Only when you smile I have no defense. Anytime you laugh I can see your light, and it shines so bright, and it shines so bright. Only when you smile do we break these walls. You turn me back around, and again I fall. Only when you smile is my world alright. That's why I spend my life, that's why I spend my life trying to make you smile. Wanna hold you close, curl up in bed. Wanna feel the fire when I kiss your neck. You know your smile's worth a million words, and it's the best thing I've ever heard. Only when you smile does the world make sense. Only when you smile I have no defense. Anytime you laugh I can see your light, and it shines so bright, and you shine so bright. Only when you smile do we break these walls. You turn me back around, and again I fall. Only when you smile is my world alright. That's why I spend my life, that's why I spend my life trying to make you smile.
Wow, that was amazing. God, you can play, can't you? I'm very envious. You're fantastic. That was really good. Thank you so much for that. That was wonderful. Now, that was from obviously the title track of your album, Smile, which is fantastic. Did you record that throughout lockdown or in between lockdowns? So how did you manage to get through that? Because obviously we're all trying to produce albums and that, and 1 minute we're locked down, the next minute we're out again. And how did it come about for you?
So yeah, from my point of view, I think we all kind of relaxed a bit in the first lockdown.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. We were talking about that a little bit off air, and I certainly let myself go a little bit, but I think that's fine. I think a lot of people with busy lives, it was actually a welcome relief to begin with, to have kind of a bit of a weight lifted. I know a lot of people suffered big time, but also a lot of people did see or did have some positive effects from it, where they just had a bit of space and time. And from my point of view, I think I threw myself straight into this room. This room was just one of those junk rooms where you just head high full of just junk. And so I just went, right, I don't have much money to go with this, but I'm going to put all my time. One thing I do have is time. So I put the little amount of money I did have into a load of soundproofing, rock wool soundproofing, and then doubled up with acoustic foam for like the aesthetic look.
Yeah.
And then invested in some speakers, a bass guitar, cajon that I was saying about, some percussion, linked up my piano, which is just in front of me now, and just threw myself into this. Bought a few tools that I needed, cut my own desk up, made my own desk, which is quite cool. And so once this room was made, that was like, this is my little man cave.
your man cave, yeah. And I think you need that.
Happy place.
That's nice. And obviously, I saw some pictures of you doing the room up as well, because obviously I did some on your Instagram for you, and it's like man of many talents there, multi-instrumentalist, and you can also make stuff. Pretty good.
It took a lot longer than it would take a skilled person, that's for sure.
I know, but I mean, obviously you've had to finding something to do for that lockdown. It's been hard, isn't it? Especially for musicians. We've been hit quite hard with this, haven't we? And to be able to produce an album as good as what you've done as well, which is fantastic. And I mean, fair play to you. You've done a brilliant job, and it's outstanding. So that one you just played, I mean, I could hear that on big commercial American country stations. Yeah, someone like Keith Urban, that kind of sound. You've got that. You've really got something going on there, and I could see that being a massive hit. Someone needs to hear you. Someone needs to hear you. Someone big.
It's amazing.
So that's you're most welcome. So obviously at the moment with everything that's been going on, you're working alongside with country music social media as well. It's been helping you with social media, and obviously at the moment it's so important, isn't it? Social media. How have you been finding it?
Social media is a big one. I think through lockdown, people have really gone to social media big time, and it's so important from a musician's point of view these days. Social media is just the epicenter of where you're seen, obviously, because for the last year or so, that's the only place you could be seen. So I think that the artists that have really taken it upon themselves to get their social media right, get their sound right, get a good, say, internet connection and all the basic stuff.
Yeah.
And nice little setup, and have taken the effort to go live on Facebook. Facebook Live is, I think I did about nearly 200 shows on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I saw you.
And that's probably one of the best things I've ever done for my music. And it's enjoyable because I was trying to explain this before. Like, the great thing with Facebook Live is that you get to interact in real time with your audience, and obviously normal gigs you don't. No. You do as a performer, but it's one way. It's mainly one way, because as a performer, when you're at a gig, you're talking to people. You try and make it feel like you're talking with them, because that's part of performing on stage. But ultimately, it's one way. But with Facebook Live, obviously, you get the comments coming in, so you can say, right, I'm going to play this song now. During the song, everyone put their comments on. What do you want me to sing next? And then boom, you've got their attention. You're pleasing other people. It keeps it interesting, and it's really easy, not easy, but it's a really good way of getting your name out, I think. So yeah, Facebook Live and social media is just vital. I'm maybe not so good with social media side of things. I'm a bit slack. I probably don't post enough, but
that's where Ken came in. Yeah, Ken came in at the right time, I think, and he obviously does it because he actually does it because he absolutely loves the industry as well. And setting up a social media kind of help companies actually really worked for a lot of people, especially people that's not always have time or not savvy on it. Not everyone's good with social media, and it can be complex. But when you get it right, it's brilliant, and it's something we really need right now. So, and obviously, I've seen your name flying around all over the place at the moment, so it's good. So, I'm going to get you to play out in a minute with another song. But before I do, so you've sung with Bublé, sung with Cary. You've had like a fantastic album out at the moment as well, which is doing really well. Loads of airplay, 200 shows. What's next for Tom Cary?
I think when we get back to the gigging scene, which is hopefully soon,
yes,
the festival, UK country festival scene is where I want to go next. That's the big one for me. I've got the band that did my album are ready to go live at a drop of a hat to do festivals all over the place, and they're an incredible band. Individual musicians who I got together, and it just so happened we just went fitted like a glove together. Nice. It was just, when you don't have to worry about it. It's just
get on with it. Yeah,
get on. And if you do a bar too much, or you do too many verses, they've got your back.
Yeah, it's magic.
Walk on stage. Yeah, magic is the word.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's fingers crossed. Hopefully with Ken's work and country music social media, hopefully we can. I'm really excited to see where things are going this year and next.
Yeah, I think use this year as a bit of a platform to build up sort of groundwork for the future, isn't it? Now, I think we've all got to get there. I mean, I've had the same. Obviously, I'm a musician full time as well for a job, so I lost all my gigs and having to restart pretty much from scratch. So in between, just use your time wisely, isn't it? Get out there, groundwork. It will come back. It's going to be tight time, but it will come back, and I think it will come back bigger and better because I think now I'm hoping people will appreciate the live music scene much more because it was taken away from them. Now it's back. I think we could be in for quite a good ride. So fingers crossed anyway. But it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you. You're a very talented man. Very lovely to speak to you. And could you play out the song for us, please?
I certainly can. So what I'm going to sing now is one that I haven't ever performed live.
Okay.
The reason being is it's brand new. So
exclusive.
Exactly. I wrote this song yesterday. And as I say, I wasn't originally going to be singing it, but I really like it. So,
go for it.
I thought, why the hell not? So it's called Someday Ain't Tonight.
Take it away.
Some days you're gonna lose, some days you're gonna win, some days you gotta prove to yourself and reach within. Some days you look back and laugh, some days you look back in anger. Some days when you're down on your back and you won't know what hit you, what hit you. Some days you're gonna lose some days you're gonna cry, some days you're gonna want a reason. Yourself, ask yourself why. Someday ain't tonight. And now it's time to hit rewind, play it all over again. It's time to live, don't forget to forgive. Play it all over again, all over again. Some days you're gonna lose some days you're gonna cry, some days you're gonna want a reason yourself. Ask yourself why. Someday ain't tonight. Ask yourself why. Some days you're gonna lose some days you're gonna cry, some days you're gonna want a reason with yourself. Ask yourself why. Someday
That was fantastic. A bit of an exclusive there. You've got to release that. That's incredible. That's a great song. Very commercial as well. I can hear that being played on commercial radio. Definitely get that down.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was as I say, it was a song I wrote yesterday. So really happy with it. And it's just really happy. So yeah.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Tom. It's been lovely to virtually meet you, I should say. And hopefully I should see you at a festival very soon when we all get back to playing again. And it'd be very nice to meet you. And hopefully we'll just keep going. You're doing a fantastic job. And it's been, an honour to talk to you. So thank you very much for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me on. Thanks.
You're welcome.